What's up, everybody? My name is JC Sowles. I'm also known as JC Mr. Fitness. I am a master personal trainer, certified nutrition counselor in the greater Atlanta area, and I am super duper excited to be able to help you guys out with this project you're doing. I was so excited when my sister called me and said, hey, we're trying to break some things down on what's happening with the nutritional system, what's going on with the food system. And she was like, hey, you'd be great. I know how you love to talk about the stuff. And guys, I do. I love to educate people on nutrition, help motivate people to get healthy. Because guess what? Living 120 is not a bad thing if you feel good and you look good. You know what I'm talking about? Now, love you, Crystal. Thank you. I just want to shout you out. Thank you for this opportunity. Professor, you got to give my sister an A because it's my sister. All right. But anyways, guys, I want to help you guys get a really clear understanding on what's going on, what's happened with our food system and how it's caused our chronic disease and weight issues today. So there are three main things I want you guys to pretty much write down, okay? Because I want you to do some homework, all right? The first thing I want you to write down is this: GMO. GMO. Okay, write that down. That's number one. The next thing I want you to write down is this, okay? Is write down irradiation. Irradiation. IRRADATION. Irradiation of foods, okay? And the third thing I want you to write down is modern agricultural practices versus historical practice, older agricultural practices. You'll get the point. So you're gonna write those three things down, and you're gonna go to good old Google, and you're just gonna spend a little bit of time just seeing what Google has to offer on those three topics. All right, and I'm gonna go into a little detail with this video. I know I don't have a whole lot of time. So the problem with today is this: we're overfed. Okay, we're overfed. We're eating way too much, okay? We're undernourished. We're not getting enough nutrition from the things we eat. And I'm gonna break that down, all right? We're overdrugged. 1 out of 4 Americans on at least one prescription medication every day. That's from cradle to the grave, kids all the way to the seniors, okay? And we're overtrained, all right? Overtrained means we're working out and doing way more without the proper sustenance to actually support that output. So I'm gonna break all this thing back down, okay? We start with overfed. We're eating 3,200 calories a day on average, okay? 50 years ago, we were eating half of it, about 1,500, all right? All right? Now, what happens when you have more calories than you need? You start to gain extra weight, extra body fat. Your body's gonna store it, say, hey, we'll just save it for later. And just keep saving it until you decide to do something different about it. The second thing is we're undernourished. What that means is this: out of those 3,200 calories, the nutrients in those foods, when I mean by nutrients, I mean not just the fats, the carbs, and the protein, okay? I'm talking about the micronutrients. You may have never heard of those before. You may want to write that down, micronutrients. That's the category of non-caloric nutrients, as in the vitamins, the minerals, the coenzymes. These are other things that are inside the food that really focus on helping cell function as opposed to providing energy per se. That's what the fats, carbs, and protein, they provide energy and also rebuilding of tissue. But micronutrients help with a lot of other intricate things, all right? To give you an example, vitamin A, beta carotene. You may have seen a carrot, it's orange, all right? Vitamin A is created from beta carotene, all right? Now, what does this have to do with you? This is how important vitamins are. Without vitamin A, you have no vision. You cannot see. You will go blind immediately. It's this serious. If I could snap my fingers right now and take the vitamin A out of all your bodies, everybody in that room would be, you'd be drawing with your eyes, with your hands out, all right? So that's how important they are, because all of the micronutrients and all the vitamins and minerals, they play their part in terms of our entire body and all the intricate things it needs for it to function, all right? So think of it like if you're gonna do if you're gonna design or if you're gonna do some artwork or design a building or whatnot, you're gonna need your, you're gonna need your CAD files. You're gonna need your Photoshop. You may render with your pencils. I don't know, stencils, whatever you guys use. You're gonna use all those things to actually get the complete product and also a perfect product. And it has to also be efficient, okay? So those utensils to you guys, your computer, your Photoshop, all this, that's like equivalent to the nutrients, the micronutrients in the food for us. If we are eating foods that don't have the proper vitamins and minerals, then our body can't do its complete job to rebuild, to maintain, and to stay healthy. Immune system will be depleted, all that good stuff. So that's the second part in terms of our food. We're undernourished. Now the third part is obviously because we're undernourished, we get sick. So then guess what? We're going to be taking medications, all right? And that just kind of speaks for itself. And then the fourth component is we're overtraining. This is what I see a lot of people do. A lot of people want to lose weight, they want to be healthy, and they start to exercise, which is never a bad thing. The problem is that when we exercise, we actually deplete the body of more nutrients. So if the food doesn't have enough nutrition in it already, and then we start doing things that depletes more of our nutrition, we become more fatigued. We become even more tired, and we don't lose any weight, and we get frustrated, we get tired, we go, what the hell is going on? So a lot of this has to do, going back to those three things I talked about earlier, genetically modified foods, GMO, genetically modified organisms, all right? You're gonna look that up. GMO foods are basically frankenfood. Frankenfood is, I'm gonna give you an example exactly what happens, okay? I give you an example with corn. So what you have these biochemists or these biotechnologists do, they'll take the original seed, the seed that the creator gave us, and what they'll do is they'll go into the lab and they'll change traits on the DNA of that seed. Now, I guess to help you guys understand, every species has some DNA. Okay, that means it has some type of coding that's going to tell it to do what it needs to do. Like corn has the DNA code to tell it to be yellow or orange or whatever, and taste the way it tastes, and look the way it looks, grow as big as it grows. All right, and all this comes from the creator. So we've gotten pretty smart over the years. So biotechnology, they can go and actually manipulate those components of the DNA. The problem with that is this: if you watch X-Men, mutations can work for you and they can work against you. It may be cool to have, Wolverine type of things out of your hand, or be able to shoot lasers out your eyes, but then you may not want that. So you just can't account for genetic mutations. So you got basically scientists playing God with our food, and they're doing it more for profit. So I'm sorry, I'm losing track. But anyways, so they take corn, they go, hey, we don't want to, they don't want to spray it with pesticides, herbicide anymore because those cause cancer. So what we'll do is this: we won't spray it, but what we'll do is this: we'll take the active ingredient out of the pesticide, and we'll actually implant that in the corn as a DNA trait. Oh yeah, this is what they're doing. So they'll go in, basically seed rape the corn, and they'll put that active ingredient, Bt toxin, they'll put that inside the corn seed, close it back up, and then now we have a brand new species of corn that's actually producing a synthetic herbicide or pesticide on its own. So when it goes into the ground and grows, it's gonna look like regular corn, and it may taste somewhat similar. Sometimes it doesn't look the same, but it's very similar to the naked eye. Most people won't know the difference. Well, some people do. But when it grows, it's actually going to produce a pesticide, so that the pest there won't even be any pest to actually bother it. The problem with that is this: it throws off the ecosystem. Not to mention, when you eat that food, you're going to actually ingest that DNA trait in your body. It's going to break down in your gut, and now what you have is this synthetic, toxic, mutated DNA pesticide inside your body, and you wonder why you're having GI issues, intestinal issues. And this has been going on for some time now. GMO foods were cleared in the 90s to be mass produced in the mainstream food, and that's why people have been pushing so hard to get our foods labeled, because there are extremely dangerous long-term effects of eating genetically modified foods. They'll say there's none, but new studies have shown that there are cancer, all types of autism, all types of disease that are associated with eating genetically modified foods. All right. The next thing is irradiation. So basically, irradiation is when they microwave or nuke the food before they actually bring it to market. And the reason why they do stuff like that is because to prolong the shelf life. Basically, when you radiate something, you destroy all life form, like life sources. So, give you guys an example, like bread. Most commercial brand breads, when you buy them, they're going to, you can leave them on a shelf forever and they'll never mold. Now that's not natural. That's not natural for bread, because when you make bread, whether it be yeast or not, it has natural microorganisms like yeast, and it has certain germs and things like that, wheat germs. And eventually, once that air and stuff hits it, it starts to grow a mold, and that's a natural, healthy process. And that means that it's time for that bread to die, and that's how you know when to throw it out. But when they irradiate the bread, they destroy all the good yeast, the good bacteria, all the good microorganisms that would actually help our bodies have healthy digestive processes. So you're just eating basically like cardboard bread. And when you eat it, you may feel like a little irritation in your stomach. You know what I'm talking about. And that's because the bread has been robbed of its natural state, its natural nutritional components, and it's had all these preservatives added into it. And now that's what you're eating. So, and that's mainstream across a lot of foods. They do that with eggs. They do that with a lot of foods. So it's basically, it's like taking food through chemo. I don't know if you've ever known anybody go through chemo, but you don't come out smiling from chemo. So they do that, and they can shelve their food for a long time. All right, and the last thing is modern agriculture practices. They're extremely different from how we originally were doing agriculture. Even like how they plant crops. If you drive, in the country or anything like that, you'll see fields and fields and fields of the same crop being planted. That's not normal agriculture practices, because you have to have what's called crop rotation. You don't ever want to oversaturate a land with one crop, because what happens is it's going to recruit an abundance of that crop's pests, and there won't be any ecosystem balance. So you want to plant different things throughout your acreage, so that way you actually mitigate the pest, and it actually naturally takes care of itself. All right, so those are like the main three things that you guys want to take a look at. Hopefully this helped you guys get a better understanding. What all this leads up to is that when we eat, but we don't get nourished. There was a study by the University of Texas in 1999 that showed, some like broccoli has up to 80% drop in calcium. And just to give one example, but over the last 50 years, the nutrition in the food, particularly the micronutrients in the food, the vitamins and minerals have dropped significantly, and this actually plays a role into our daily life. So when we eat, even when you try to eat healthy, it's still not enough nutrition in the food, and that's why so many people are still having a weight issue. They're having energy issues, iron issues, all that type of stuff. So, and this is where supplementation comes in. And like in America, supplementation is a must. If you're not supplementing with some natural plant-based vitamins or minerals, then you're really asking for trouble in the future in terms of your long-term health. So hopefully this is enough for you guys. If you have any other questions, feel free. You can email me, jc@trisetfitness.com, jc@trisetfitness.com, and be sure to follow me. Tell some of your friends about me. I don't care, at JC Mr. Fitness, at JC Mr. Fitness on Instagram. So hopefully this was beneficial once again. Thank you for your time. Love you, Crystal. Y'all rock.